Hi everybody and welcome back to DR Sports. My name is Laurie. So glad to have you along. Today we are here to preview what I believe is the biggest fight of the year, taking place this weekend in Las Vegas. Canelo Alvarez taking on Terence Bud Crawford, pitting two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world today. Massive fight, massive occasion. Here with me to discuss it, I've got an esteemed panel that I've assembled. Starting to my far right, we've got Melissa in the building. Let's give her a bit of round of applause.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
No worries, man. It's a pleasure. We've also got my boy John Harding Jr., former professional fighter.
Building.
And to my left, we've got Tiro in the building. Let's give him a round of applause as well. Right, guys. So, this Saturday, can't wait for this Saturday, in the early hours of the morning in Las Vegas. Canelo Alvarez taking on Terence Bud Crawford. Wow. Can't wait for it to get underway. We will be covering the fight itself in the early hours of Sunday morning. All of us here will be on the panel. We might have a few more guests as well. Can't wait. But let's talk about the fight. It's only right that we should start with ladies first. Melissa, tell us first how much you're looking forward to this fight.
I am so looking forward to this fight. I just think it's a massive fight. And I think one of the amazing parts about it is that, in 10 years' time, we won't be like, if Canelo fought Crawford, who would have won that? We get to see it in real time and it's so exciting. I'm really, really happy to be watching it with you guys on Saturday.
John, why are you so excited?
Whoa, I'm excited because there was a time we didn't think this was going to happen. There's so much videos of Crawford saying he can't make it to that weight and Canelo not really being interested in fighting Crawford. And now it's happening thanks to money.
That man, Turkey.
You know what I mean? He's giving us the fight. And you have to fight because he's just giving us the fights that would never, ever happen. But because of that green thing, money, it is happening. So I'm excited to really see the dynamics of that fight, how it's always different from the predictions to actually watching it, to seeing it. So I'm just excited to analyze that fight.
That is such a good point because let's be honest, man, Turkey Al Sheikh has changed the game, man. He's rescued boxing, isn't he? Let's be honest, a few years ago, boxing was pretty dead. People were saying that the real fights that people want to see are not being made. Turkey Al Sheikh entered the scene. He's backed himself. He's backed the fighters with money. He's put on the bid. It's not just the money. He's been able to, he's a proper politician as well. He'll be able to get the two camps together and get these fights on. And yeah, man, he's changed the game. Tyrrell, why does this fight excite you so much?
I think it's a fight that everyone's been waiting for a while. And I think we're getting two elite fighters that are at the top of their game at the right time. I think one of them slightly passed it, but that's a conversation for later.
I want to hear that conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, but before we do that, I think it's only right that we have a little deep dive into the two fighters' records. So let's start with Canelo Alvarez. He's the current undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. He's 35 years old. He's from Guadalajara in Mexico. He currently has a record of 67 fights. I think this man turned pro when he was about 15. Yeah, can you believe that? 67 fights, 63 wins, 38 by KO. He has two losses, only to the best, Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. He has two draws, Triple G back in 2017 and a guy called Wajid Yores back in 2006. He's held titles in 4 different weight classes, like middleweight, super middleweight and light heavyweight. And like I said, he's the current undisputed champion of the world. Then you have Terence Bud Crawford, the pride of Omaha, Nebraska. For those of you who don't know, that's in the Midwest of America. He's 37 years old now, so he's a couple of years older than Canelo, although he's had a lot less time in terms of ring experience. Currently unbeaten as a professional. 41 fights, 41 wins, 31 wins by KO. Also held titles in 4 different weight classes: lightweight, light welterweight, and light middleweight. He has been a 2-time undisputed champion of the world. And if he wins on Saturday, early hours of Sunday morning, then he'll be the first fighter, male fighter in the 4-belt era to be a 3-time undisputed champion at different weights. Wow. So both fighters have got phenomenal records. But we think somebody might come up short on Saturday, Sunday. Let's start with John. Who's that going to be?
Oh, he just straight to me, man.
Straight to you.
Oh man,
straight to you.
I listen. See this one here. I'm a Crawford fan. Yeah, I am a big Crawford fan, and I badly want him to win. I'll be watching.
I can sense a buck coming.
Screw it alone. Oh man. Oh, this is hard, man. I badly want him to win. I'm gonna be cheering him on to win this fight. Like, I'm going to be shouting. If he was to lose, I'll be hurt. That's how bad. But Canelo is at the natural weight. He's bigger. I haven't seen Crawford at 160. And prior to interviews, Crawford was saying he can't get to there. I know when you want something bad, you make it happen. Oh man, I want Crawford to win. Yeah. Oh, man. But he's a salty. If I had to place, oh man.
So basically, what you're saying is,
you got me on the spot here. Go on.
No, but from what you're hinting at, you seem to be suggesting that the size difference will be too much. Is that what you're saying? Because it is a pretty
like
significant leap.
I feel like favorite. I feel like Canelo's a favorite in my eyes.
Yeah, I think
favorite
so. Yeah,
is the favorite. I feel like Bud's gonna do something out of the blue because he always just makes it work. I've seen him under pressure, like Gamboa. He just turn it round. I've seen him many times. He's been hurt. Turn it around. That guy is a lion heart within himself. And because of that, see, like, even now, I haven't made a decision, but I'm arguing with myself, innit?
He's prevaricating, man.
No, wait. Here's how it goes.
Prevaricating.
My favorite is Canelo, yeah? But what I've seen, how this guy can turn it round, I think he's going to do something magical.
Are you going to tell us who's going to win or not?
I'm going to go with Crawford now.
Right.
Oh, you're going Crawford?
Right. I'm gonna only because I've seen him do something magical.
Right.
But I know that I understand Canelo's a favourite.
Yeah, I think in most people's eyes, he is a favourite. Terrell, what's your thoughts?
It's not as difficult for me, to be honest. I think Crawford, because I think he's going to be too elusive for Canelo. I think Canelo's slowed down. I haven't seen him personally stick it on someone since Plant in 2021. I haven't seen him stick it on someone, cut off the ring, get them out of it.
But what would you say to those people who say that he rises to the level of the opponent? So what people are saying is, don't watch the Caleb Plant, don't watch the Jaime Munguia, don't watch the Edgar Berlanga, don't watch the William Skull. All those fights, to me, I agree with you that Canelo wasn't at his best, right? But they're saying, the people who I've spoken to that say that Canelo are going to win, they're going to say, watch, come this weekend, he knows he's got a proper, legitimate fighter in front of him and he will raise his levels.
But I would more say that about Crawford. I think Crawford's the one who rises to the level each time. I think Canelo, to be honest, Canelo gets on my nerves a bit. He should have fought Benavidez a while ago. You see?
I'm with you, I hear
so
that.
you're saying what?
Is
that you're saying like easy win?
It's not easy win. It's not easy win.
Okay.
But I think Crawford's going to get him to the body, make him lower his guard in the later rounds and get him out of it.
So we got two...
No knockout.
Okay,
no.
Just about to say, hey.
No one's getting knocked out.
Hey.
And I think Crawford's going to have to perform extremely well to get the decision in Vegas. But I think he'll do it. I'm saying by like 8
Melissa,
rounds.
are you going to buck the trend or are you...
I'm not going to buck the trend. No. So I think that this has so many different layers to it because obviously there's like, the 21-pound weight difference, right? That's huge, you know. Crawford trying to rise to that. He's never fought at that before. Like we've seen images of him come out and he just looks so like he's really packed on that muscle. That's going to slow him down, of course. But then again, it's like, I'm with you, Terrell. Like in the last few years, I haven't watched Canelo box and been like, wow, like I used to be. I remember when he was like crowned King Canelo and I felt that. And I haven't felt that for a long time. Again, I agree that people rise to the level of the opponent. And if he's not facing great opposition, then he's just going to go into his default settings, do what he always does. However, when he faced Bivol, he struggled there. You know, he struggled and Bivol's a mover. Crawford's a mover. There's just so many layers to it. But I think the thing about Crawford is, in my opinion, whenever he starts fighting, there might be a couple of rounds in there where I'm like, oh gosh, he's looking a bit troubled. And then, as you say, Pest, like he just turns it round and he figures it out. And I think he just has an elite boxing IQ, and I think that's what's gonna get him the win via decision.
Yeah, you know
on
what I mean. It's
Saturday.
interesting that we've heard. Well, I've not had my say yet, but you three have spoken, and you've all gone for Crawford, which is surprising in a way because, let's be honest, Canelo is the bookie's favourite. And when you go online, there's a lot of people who are saying that, listen, the weight disparity is too much. Canelo hits too hard. He's been at the weight for years now. They use that same argument which does have truth to it. They say, listen, a big man, a good big man will beat a good smaller man. They have weight classes for a reason. But I'm with you guys, man. I just think Terence Crawford is a once-in-a-lifetime guy. I just think that the skill set that he brings, and not just the skill set, and I'll elaborate on this later, I think he has not just the skill set, which is elite, by the way. He has what I call that elite ring mentality, that type of refusing to be beaten.
The dog.
Like you guys have all said,
lion.
when he's been put in certain situations, when he's been hurt, or I never forget that. Do you remember the fight he had with Sean Porter? When he went back to the corner and they said, you're down. Apparently you're down. He didn't think he was down, by the way. Yeah.
Huh? I'm
And he
down.
said, what? I'm down?
Huh? What?
He finished Porter the very next round.
believe
He just
that.
went out there and turned it up. So that's what I think will happen. I just think that his skill set is elite, but it's this. Whereas you had some guys that fought Canelo, notably people like Jamel Charlo, even our own Callum Smith. Those guys were beaten before they went in the ring. You could see that. As soon as they got hit, they didn't want to know. Berlanga was the
Crawford.
same. When he got dropped early in that fight, the man was circling around the ring, just throwing one punch at a time. He was too consumed about defense. Crawford, I mean, obviously, we don't know for sure until the fight happens, but the way I've seen him fight, if he gets drawn in, that will be no problem to him. He will relish that. He's and also the other thing I would like to, he's freakishly strong for his size. Like when you watch interviews, anybody that's ever sparred Crawford or fought him, one of the first things they will say is, I was surprised at how strong he was. He comes from a wrestling background. He's also taken, I believe, like a year out to build his body up to this weight. He's been on a special nutrition program. He's been doing a lot of strength training. He looks ready, man, and I just can't back against him. You know what I'm saying?
They've both been fighters all their life. When you look at the background of Crawford, yeah, I know, like from a streets perspective, remember when he was young, his mum, like, was telling him,
I see
if
that.
something happened, go beat that, like, go beat him up. Don't come back. You've been beaten up, and that was his thing. Or she was your mum paying people if they can beat your son up, and that's been on you from young, that pressure of trying to make your mum happy, to show her that I'm that man.
Yeah.
And it's in him, like he doesn't have. If you remember that face off with him and Benavidez, the other brother.
Yeah.
And I think Benavidez, I don't know, pushed him or something.
And
he just missed it.
Which is a good thing that he didn't miss. It's a good thing that he
a
missed.
dog. He's a fighter within
That's right.
himself.
That's right.
Like, the world could be against him, but he's saying, like, I've got this. What, you think I want to lose? Same with Spence, and Spence was the bully of the boogeyman. He said everything. Watch, they're gonna say he's too big for the weight. They're gonna say this. At this time, he was the little man coming up.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean?
And I remember that fight. We actually covered that fight on DR. We did a watch along, and I remember I like both guys, but to be honest, I was leaning towards Spence. Reason being, he's from a Jamaican heritage like myself, and I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? Even though I like both guys, I was leaning towards Spence, but he did a number on Spence. Yeah. But I've got a question for Melissa. I mean, I do agree with a lot of what you said, but what would you say as a counteraction to that? People who say that Canelo has not just fought bigger guys, but he's knocked bigger guys out. So, for example, he moved up to light heavyweight, he knocked out Kovalev, knocked him out, something that light heavyweights haven't been able to do. Canelo did that. So I guess my question to you is, how do you think Crawford, who, let's be honest, has been hurt in previous fights, not been down, neither of them been down actually, but Crawford has been hurt more than Canelo has. Do you think he can take Canelo's power in a 12-round fight?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, again, multiple layers to it, but, I think that Crawford is super elusive, And we have seen him hurt, and there's no disputing that. It's just really hard to go against him in any way. But I think that he's going to be switched on enough, knowing that Canelo is like, he's a power puncher, he packs a punch. I think he's going to be switched on enough to stay elusive and not to be hit clean. I'm hoping he doesn't get hit clean. I think he could get troubled,
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say. He could get troubled if he gets hit clean. I think he'll stay switched on enough to remain elusive throughout that fight. And he just has to do that across those 12 rounds while still being able to put together those lovely combinations where those shots are coming out of everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, Tyrell, same question to you, but what I would say is in a 12-round fight, especially fighting against a guy with the skills of Canelo, you are going to get hit.
Yeah, he's
so
definitely
how do you
going to get
think
hit.
Crawford's chin's going to stand up? And the body, because let's face it, Canelo is a very good body puncher.
Very good.
He is.
So do you think
I think Crawford's going
can
to
stand up to that?
get hit, and I think there's no running away from that. I think Crawford will stand in the pocket and trade at times as well. But I think everyone, to be honest, the point that I really want to make is everyone's making a big hoo-ha about the weight. But if you look at Crawford, when he fought Madrimov on fight night, he was 170. Canelo, I think, might have been 175 or something against Skull. And they both said their walk-around weights are about 180. So, bigger guy, I don't know about all of that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, size does make a difference in fighting, but you're right. It's not always about the fighting. It's about the skills, about the size of the heart. I mean, you know what they say about it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog that counts. But I do think size does come into it, but I just think that Crawford is a different beast, man. I mean, I've just seen this guy so many times overcome the odds. I remember watching Crawford. You will remember this because you're closer in age than the other two guys. But remember when Crawford came over here to fight Ricky Burns?
Yeah.
Now he did something that a lot of American fighters won't do. He'll come to this country for a guy. Ricky Burns was a very good fighter at the time. He came to this country and he beat Ricky Burns, who was a good champion at that time as well. He beat him quite comfortably, innit? Remember? And from that time, the way I saw him handle himself, the way that fight went, I knew this guy was a class apart.
I think I was shocked from the Gamboa because I was a fan of Gamboa.
Yeah.
And I thought, raw. And 50 Cent was even pushing Gamboa. If you remember.
That's right. Olympic gold medalist from Cuba.
Gamboa was the star at that time.
He
You just remember he was the star. He was, was he a gold medalist as well?
Yeah, he was an Olympian.
The gold medalist Olympian, and he got hurt and just dismantled him, like actually threw him over. And only things I'm quite worried when these guys were talking. I was having the flashes of Canelo in the pocket. Yeah. Like his combinations of head, body in the pocket. I'm thinking when Crawford's trading with him in that instance, because Crawford is hot-headed, and if you hit him, he is going to get you back.
Definitely.
Could that work against him though? Because if you try and get your get back,
exactly what I just had. I had a scary moment. I was like, "Oh, do I change my prediction?" I was like, "What?" But I was like, if that weakness of Crawford that. If he's hurt, he's going to hit you no matter what. Like you hit him once, I'm hitting you 3 times. You hit me, I ain't running. Because sometimes to beat Canelo, I think he has to do a form of, box and move. Yeah, but in his head, I don't know, Crawford might digest it as I'm not running from this guy. I'm staying in there. And Canelo needs him to stay there. Because Canelo's head to body combination is phenomenal.
Melissa, another question for you. How do you think the crowd and the atmosphere of the night will play? Because I would imagine, I don't imagine, I pretty much know it's going to be a very pro Canelo crowd. I saw the arrivals yesterday. Even that was very pro Canelo. I think it's Mexican Independence weekend as well. Yeah. So the fight coincides with that. Canelo is very, very well supported by the Mexican people. They're going to be in Las Vegas en masse, making a lot of noise. Do you think that might sway the referee and the judges, or might affect Crawford, or what?
I don't think it'll affect Crawford at all. I think he'll relish that actually because of exactly as you were saying, John, like his upbringing, his mentality. Just he will rise to that occasion. I think actually that will give him a bit of extra fuel or spite on the night. It could potentially influence the ref and judges. Like these things always could potentially influence them. But we've watched so many fights where the decision's been clear, but it's gone the other way. There's just no telling what's going to happen with the refs and judges. But I think that I don't know if it's going to play into Crawford's hands to have such a pro Canelo crowd, because he does seem like that character. But it could.
It could, yeah, and it could sway the judges in a close fight. If the crowd are heavily Canelo and Canelo is the favourite, and let's face it, he is the star, he is the A-side of the promotion. We've seen it in boxing a lot, where
and
they get the nod on the judges' cards, right?
that's why I think Crawford's going to have to beat him convincingly, to be honest, to get the points decision. Because even against Bivol, I think Bivol won that fight clear.
That's
clear
true.
by a good,
That's a very good
10
point.
rounds to whatever, but he just got it.
Yeah, so in the end it was
Yeah,
a
it was
1-1-5, 1-1-3 on all the cards. But yet still, Bivol, to me, I'm with you. I thought he won at least 8, 9, maybe even 10 of the 12 rounds.
Dominated.
So that is something that we've definitely got to take into consideration. What do you think, guys, in terms of the resumes of the two fighters? There's no doubt that Canelo has the better resume. I mean, I'm looking at some of the fighters he's beaten here. They're all world champions. I mean, from Carlos Baldemir, Kermit Cintron, Shane Mosley, Austin Trout, Erislandy Lara, James Kirkland, Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, Liam Smith, Danny Jacobs, Kovalev, Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, Gennady Golovkin, Jamel Charlo, Jaime Munguia. All these guys are world champions, all top quality fighters. And yet none of them could beat Canelo. So how is Crawford going to do
You
it?
can question two of those fights, so
Golovkin
Lara
beat
him.
and
Golovkin beat
Golovkin.
I thought Lara won, but I thought Lara did a bit too much running, to be honest.
Okay. And it all depends what the judge is looking for individually. Like, what are they trying to score?
But there is some pretty impressive wins in there.
But
you know what I
definitely,
mean?
yeah. And I was, watching all those opponents. I don't know if you've got a clip of, like before Canelo. So you before each opponent before they fought Canelo. So like sometimes I like to watch that going into ring, and majority of them, it looked like nearly all of them, they were confident they were gonna do him and do a number on him. They were.
Yeah, some of them talked a lot. I mean, Charlo talked a lot. Although Charlo talked a lot, but I wasn't really that impressed with his body language before the fight. He tends to talk a lot with other guys. I noticed that with Canelo, he was a bit more respectful. And when I saw that, I thought, you're not beating Canelo. With Caleb Plant, he did talk a good game, but I felt after he started well, but once Canelo started to touch him up with the body shots, you could see the energy slipping out of him.
talking to him when he's
And Callum Smith was a real good example. I thought Callum Smith, with his height, he's got punching power. He was coming down from light heavyweight. I thought, this would be a good test for Canelo.
You know that in that
he
fight,
didn't show up. He
what
went to
he's
bed.
done as well, what is great, Canelo will whack you to the arms.
Yeah, that's true.
He loves that
That's a bit
shot.
along different in boxing. Do you know what I mean? And to do that, and you're thinking of, you're not doing that to just hurt him now. You're doing it to hurt him later on.
Yes.
That's true.
Hey, that's not. That is calculation, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To break, that's really break.
They
That's
say
like-
that Rocky Marciano, you've all heard of Rocky Marciano,
Yeah.
he used to do that.
Okay.
He used to club a man because they used to shell up when they fought him. So he used to attack the arms, knowing that the arms would drop later.
Okay.
And then that would,
So now I'm thinking of that with Crawford, yeah. Like, how would that,
The body.
you know what I mean? That kind of Crawford the dog. I don't know. Do we know of Crawford to do like a Lara style or something to box and just move? Have we got?
He won't run. But the thing about Crawford is, with his footwork, is that he's like, I think it was you were saying, he stays in the pocket. And not only that, he can switch it. He can go from southpaw to orthodox seamlessly. So it's like,
I'm having a
you don't even know which
flashback
side is his strongest side.
of the Spence fight when he was starting off in the
Yeah,
beginning. Do you remember
you know,
that?
he
was
Kinda-
hitting
he
Spence
wasn't
up.
he wasn't too in there, but it was just on the outside
Yeah.
in and breaking
Yeah.
it down. So, yeah.
I mean, Melissa, Crawford's got some pretty impressive wins as well. We spoke about Ricky Burns and Gamboa, but he's beaten guys like Victor Postal. And when he beat Postal was still a beast them times, remember? Felix Diaz, Jeff Horn, remember he beat Jeff Horn when Jeff Horn had just beaten Pacquiao. He went up in weight to fight Jeff Horn. People said, oh man, he's going to be too strong for Crawford. He bullied Jeff Horn.
Yeah.
Jose Benavides Jr., Amir Khan, the Mean Machine guys he fought, Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Avanesian. Remember Avanesian was being highly thought of. And Crawford destroyed him. Errol Spence and then Madrimov. Actually, that Madrimov fight, a lot of people have said that wasn't Bud at his best, but my counter argument to that is Madrimov and Canelo, two completely different fights.
Definitely agree.
Like Canelo's flat-footed, he comes forward in straight lines. Madrimov is herky-jerky, excellent footwork.
Yeah.
Very good.
Bounces around the ring. It's totally. When people say, "Oh, look at him against Madrimov," I'm like, no, that's night and day. It's completely different.
But you know what is? I would have liked Crawford to have a touch more at, I don't know, even at 154. Cause remember, it's just 154, 160.
Yes.
That is a scary jump.
It is.
But the belief this man has is something else. So
And the skill.
The thing
Right,
is, though,
Tucker.
sorry to interrupt. The thing is, though, we talk about this like this weight thing and the size thing, and of course it's going to make a difference. But you guys remember when Usyk turned over into the heavyweights? I know people don't like to use this argument, but I will use it because it's completely factual. When he first turned into a heavyweight and he was like up against the likes of Chisora, people were like, "Oh, does he really belong here?" And he beat him. And then like when he was facing Tyson Fury, because obviously it doesn't have this like upper weight limit, the heavyweights, everyone was like, well, a good big man's going to beat a good small man.
very good
Did it?
comparison.
Did that happen?
Yeah, and that's an excellent point because the amount of weight and size. I mean, Tyson Fury is 6'9".
He's huge.
Massive, the biggest heavyweight there's been for years, and yet Usyk was able to nullify and beat him in both fights comfortably.
Yeah,
I mean,
convincingly.
I know Fury's been saying he got robbed. No, you didn't,
No.
Tyson Fury.
He talks as well.
He said Happy New Year. You know what? Let's never go to that.
I remember that. The man was so beaten, the man was saying Happy New Year, and it was in July or something like that. But anyway, unfortunately, we're running out of time. I've got a couple more questions for you. Who do you think is under more pressure to win in this fight? Let's start with Terrell.
Canelo. Because
Why is that?
Because really he should be fighting Benavidez. And he's decided to take Crawford. So you're fighting a smaller man. You know what I mean? Canelo for me has to win. And I think if he wins, he solidifies himself as pound for pound, to be honest. And I think if Crawford wins, the same.
Joe?
It has to be Canelo, man. There's a smaller man coming up. You're meant to mash that down and send him back down there. You know what I mean? You're meant to. And just remember, it's like this fight's made us forget, and I like that he brought up that the Benavidez. Because Benavidez was staying around trying to get the fight so much that he's gone to light heavy.
He was ducking Benavidez.
Ducking.
Absolutely no doubt about it. He was saying things like, what's Benavidez done? Like, really?
Who's he
Guy's
fought
a
and
two-weight world champion. Calling you out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he didn't want any part of Benavidez.
But this fight came up and it's worth money. Oh, I'll take off the little weight when it's like, you should have. So there's so much pressure on Canelo. If he loses, it's a big dent.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Melissa? What do
Yeah,
you
I mean, I think I'm in agreement with everyone. It's definitely the pressure's on Canelo to do it. I think there's something to be said about the fact that he's taken this fight with a smaller man in comparison to not taking the fight with Benavidez, when obviously that shows you a little bit about the mentality. Whereas Crawford stepped up to the plate, stepped up to the challenge. So again, in my head, that puts Crawford at that elite mentality level that you speak about, Laurie. So pressure's on Canelo.
Yeah, I would agree with all of you guys on that. I mean, the pressure is on Canelo. He is the bigger man. He is the bigger puncher. Possibly got the better chin. So he does have those physical advantages. He's been at the weight for a while now. He is the champion. He is fighting in pretty much his hometown, even though it's not. It's weird because Crawford is an American, but he's fighting in America against a guy that's going to have way more support than him. So all those things should mean that Canelo wins, but obviously we think different. And that brings me now, we're entering into the last 5 minutes of the show. I want to get you guys predictions, but I don't want to make it easy for you. I want you to tell me how you think the fight will play out and why you think, because we all think Crawford will win, but tell me how the fight plays out and how he wins. Let's start with Melissa.
Okay, I think the fight is going to be a Crawford decision win. I think it's going to be like 7 rounds to 5 or something like this, something around that. It's going to be close, of course. And how he wins is he just outboxes Canelo. He uses that elite boxing IQ that he has, the switch hitting, the timing, the counters, to nullify Canelo that's going to plod forward and try and get those heavy shots off on him.
So you're going for Crawford points decision win. Like you said, round after round, just win the rounds. Don't be too preoccupied with trying to go to war. Just win the rounds.
I think so.
It makes sense to me. John?
Looking into it, I just see it's
I just feel like your opinion and your decision have changed, have flipped and flopped.
I'm watching that. I'm seeing it starting off, a bit cagey. You know what I mean? Like, Crawford is not going to stay run off, but be at a distance where he has to kind of plod forward to try and reach to him as well. But I just see it in the later rounds, it opening up and Crawford catching some eye-catching shots. Not, can I say stopping him? I wouldn't say stopping him, but causing. I can see Crawford hurting him in a way that it looks like he can get stopped for some reason. And I just got it for Crawford decision.
Crawford decision. Tyrell?
I got Crawford decision, of course. I think early in the fight, he's going to deposit him to the body. And I think Canelo's going to come out a bit aggressive and try and little man him. But it's not going to work. And I think slowly his hands are going to drop. And I think Crawford will apply enough pressure. I don't think 7 rounds is enough, though. I think the judges will give that a draw. So I'm getting 8 rounds to 4, Crawford.
You know what? That's kind of what I was saying. I did a podcast with my son. He does the lowdown. Give him a little shout out. And I said to him on his show that I think Crawford the tactics will be not to go in there with the intention of getting Canelo out of there, because that's going to be extremely difficult. As we've said before, Canelo probably has the best chin in boxing currently. What Crawford needs to do is just win the rounds. That should be each round, just try and win the round, because I agree with you guys. He does need to put round to the bank, because I don't think he's going to get any favours on the judges. I know we've been saying it, and I don't want people to think I'm making excuses. It's just the way boxing works, bro. Just go back and look at any of these big fights. You will see that what we're saying is the truth. When there's an A side, they always get looked after by the judges. That being said, though, if Crawford does that, doesn't be too greedy, don't try and engage Canelo too. There will be times when he will need to engage Canelo, but you don't want to stand and trade. Just use your head, box. I think he wins quite comfortably on rounds, bro. In fact, I'm going over 8-4 or maybe even higher than that. Maybe it could even be a 9-3.
What, on the judges' scorecards?
Or no, on my scorecard.
Yeah. So I was talking about the judges' scorecard.
Yeah, I think on the way I'd be observing it, I think that this fight is only close because of the weights and the punch. The only way Canelo can win this fight for me is if he either knocks Crawford out,
not happening,
or or his physical strength just overwhelms Crawford, and I can't see that happening. So to me, there's only 2 ways Canelo can beat Crawford. 1, if he knocks him out, which I can't see that happening. 2 is if he gets shafted by the judges, and I can see that happening. But in terms of the boxing fight itself, I think it's clear that Crawford's skills are on another level to this version of Canelo. If this fight had taken place a few years before, I might have looked at it different. But I think Canelo's slowed down. I think his punch output has slowed right down. I think he's flat-footed. He's not. Remember when he fought Danny Jacobs and he was doing all these pivots?
That one.
With the head.
Yes,
when have you seen that, Reece? That was years ago.
When you with John Ryder, even John Ryder gave him.
John Ryder was touching him up in there, man. But the difference is Crawford would have the skill set. So.
But wait, what Crawford are we going by? What about Crawford and Madjarov?
I don't think that is a good comparison to use, simply because I personally think Madjarov is a completely different fighter to Canelo. Chalk and cheese.
I don't think he was too bad. I think people made a bit too much.
I think they got used to him knocking people out, and that didn't happen. It went the distance. People were a bit disappointed. They put a negative shine on that fight, but actually he won comfortably.
He did. And I think, the other reason why people kind of viewed that fight with some negativity, because after Crawford fought Madrimov, remember Madrimov fought Virgil Ortiz, and a lot of people, said, which in a way he kind of did. Virgil Ortiz beat him more comfortably than Crawford did. But then when you're fighting a guy that's already been beaten after, a lot of the time it's different, isn't it? So. But listen, man, we've come to an end. So I think we're pretty much in agreement that Crawford's going to win, which is somewhat surprising because, like I said, you go in other forums And other people are saying that they've got Canelo all day long because he's just going to be too big, too strong, and hit too hard. But we think different. But the only way to find out will be on Saturday, and you can find out by tuning into DR Sports in the early hours of the morning, where myself, Melissa, John, and Tyrell will all be in attendance on a DR Sports watch along. Make sure you keep it locked and loaded on DR Sports. Catch you then. See you out. Unless any of you guys want to big up your channels or anything like that.
What's that? Yeah, follow me on all socials, Best Superstar. Yeah, hit me up.
Melissa?
Yeah, I mean, follow me on Insta, Melissa Zad, and we'll see you Saturday.
Follow me on Instagram, Rello9. See you on Saturday.
And you can follow me on DR Sports, AFTV, and also my own channel, LL Sports TV. We are out. See you soon. See you Saturday, hopefully.